Hey guys, welcome back to the Growers Corner. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Indica and Sativa and the differences between the two. Now, we're all familiar with the two most famous chemicals, right? THC and CBDs, and the differences between the two and what they do and all these things. But from a grower's perspective, what are the differences between Indica and Sativa? Well, first and foremost, if you're doing an indoor, Indica is really the better way to go for a couple of reasons. One, it's a much shorter plant, right? So you have more room to work with in that vertical calculation that we were talking about for the distance from your lights and all these things, right? And it also is a heavier yielder. So for the limited space that you have, you get more bang for your buck. It also is physically different in that it's a different type of leaf. You have a much shorter leaf length, right? Each finger is shorter than Sativa's, but also fatter. Now, that does a couple of things. It absorbs more light, right? Because it's got more surface area, but it also provides more shade. So they tend to be a little bit leafier. They tend to need a little bit more leafing and to be opened up just a little bit more to make sure that you can eliminate some of that duff bud stuff down below so that everybody's getting plenty of light. Now, on the flip side to that, Sativas are actually a better outdoor plant because you get to utilize a lot more vertical space and horizontal width as well. They grow exponentially in all directions. Now, you get a slightly lower yield depending on whether it's a hybrid sativa or a full sativa, etc., etc., etc. But you will always get a bigger plant. Now, that's more suited to an outdoor situation because you have more room, right? But they also take a little bit longer to flower as opposed to 70, 95 days for an indica. You can go 120, 140, 150 days. For some full sativas from Africa, they take months to finish. So time becomes an issue and a difference depending on where you're growing, right? Now, having said all of that, I prefer hybrids for a couple of reasons. Now, hybrids are a blend of an indica and a sativa, so they're, depending on the ratio, not necessarily going to be right in the center. They're going to vary a little bit one way or the other. Now, knowing which ratio they are, which percentage they are one way or the other, is good information to have because that's going to let you know how high they're going to be or roughly how high they're going to be when they finish out and how long they're going to take. So when talking about hybrids, it's real important to know what the parentage is of that strain so that you have an idea of what kind of a schedule and how high you're going to be going. Now, they generally are a medium-sized plant. They're not near as short, so there's more that's going to come into play height-wise, right? But for that extra height, you get not quite twice as much yield. So there's a lot of upside to growing a hybrid, and it's also going to be about 100 days, not 80, not 120, right about 100 days. So that gives you plenty of time to do multiple cycles and still get a decent size yield out of your grow. All right, guys, until next time, this is the Growers Corner.